actually, it's not focusing on at the moment on Christian Dennis. It's focusing on a formation in which you can ensure that Apter gets the start, because regardless of who's scoring the goals in the middle, I think he's the most influential player at the moment. And if he's not creating goals, scoring goals, he's occupying the defenders, because now it's a couple that are marking him and thereby creating space for somebody else. Yet I look at the forwards and it's a shame, because at the end of last season, Harvey Saunders, full of confidence, scored a couple of goals, and you saw that he was itching to start every game until he got injured. Start of the season, Sam Taylor scoring goals, full of confidence. And then he had that game against Leicester in the Papa John's Trophy. And it was strange, because my perception was that when he was playing against the sides in our division, those sides were actually terrified of Taylor's pace. And because of that, he was really having a field day. But once he played against Leicester, he was up against lads his own age. And in many instances, my personal perception is that they're used to playing against players like that. Pace is pretty commonplace in the fixtures they play. So Taylor lost an advantage. And I think to a certain extent, I might be talking out of the top of my head, and I apologise to him if I am, but he started asking questions of his own game, and he didn't look as confident or as comfortable going forward. And so he's gone off the boil a little bit. Saunders has gone off the boil a little bit. Dennis has yet to hit the heights we've expected of him. And as you say, that there's Charlie Jolly got a couple of goals when he first came in. He's leading the line, but not finding the chances. Connor's the only one that's really putting in the performances every week. But where's he going to play each week? One day he's going to be playing the novice role. The next day he's going to play in the number 10. The next day he's going to be playing in centre midfield. Don't know where he's going to pick. It's a challenge for the manager. And the question is, does he set the team up to frustrate the opposition, given that we're not scoring goals? Or does he set the team up for the benefit of Rovers in the hope that he scores goals? That's what he's paid to do, so I'm not going to offer a suggestion.
So there are options, none of them suitable, basically, to replace Norris in the way that we want. But you do need to get the most out of Rob Apter, as you correctly say, because Rob Apter has played a starring role over the last few weeks. I mean, the concern has to be that he'll end up going back to Blackpool and moving on to another club, a higher League One or League Two club, or a lower League One club at the end of this cycle, or he'll go back into Blackpool's first team. And then if you're without Apter and Norris, then that really is concerning for Tranmere, because we obviously haven't seen the best of Hawks or of Morris so far this season, particularly under Nigel Adkins, I would say. But yeah, you've got to get the best out of Apter. Jennings, for me, has been the player of the season so far, so you've got to keep him in the position where he is most going to impact the team. And for me at the moment, that is on the left wing of a 4-4-2. If you've got Jennings on one flank and Apter on the other, actually, that's a pretty handy pair of wingers for League Two. Certainly if you're trying to fight your way out of a relegation battle. It is that centre midfield, though, that is a bit of an issue. I've talked about it on here for probably 6 months as it being an issue. It wasn't addressed in the summer, and it remains a huge problem now. What, for you, is the best central midfield combination that Tranmere could come up with?
Gosh, you accused me of being a doom merchant a moment ago. There we go, the roles reversed. But no, you're right, Matt. I think, as we saw in the game against Wigan, the two, I think it was Woods and Pike, or Woods and Norris. I think Woods and Norris Pike came on. You could actually play one of them as right back. I still think Leo Connor, at this present moment in time, needs to be the central holding midfielder. I think we've seen it in the past, the ground he covers, the ability to read defensively, which I think, whilst we have in theory by description defensive midfielders, you look at the ground that he covers, you look at his positioning, I think he would still be my first choice as a defensive midfielder. Who to put alongside him? Gosh, horses for courses. Again, does that midfield offer a threat or creativity going forward at the moment? We don't see balls played through the channels. Invariably, the balls are played out wide now. Central midfield almost abdicates creativity responsibility to the wide players. And just in a while, if you're an opposition, catch them off the guard. Try and slip some balls through the channels for somebody to run onto. I know we've got to get in the box because that's where Dennis is most proficient. He's not going to score from 25 yards. He's not going to carry the ball. So we want to create chances for him, but not just the wide men. I'd like to see something created. So McAleer didn't, unfortunately, create the chances we hoped he would create when he played in the Papa Johns against Wrexham. Sorry, not Wrexham, Wigan. So Hendry, he's got it in his locker, and there's the first cliche of the afternoon. But he, again, I'm not sure if it's a collective loss of confidence or just the inability to confidence of the forwards, so that they're not making the runs, they're not gambling, so you can't play the ball.